I see you, Ashley. All right, you're in. I'm getting mean people.
Oh no, we don't want mean people. We want the nice people only.
Yeah, like it's some guys randomly said, "Why are you so small?" I'm like, "I'm
You're
six
not
foot,
small.
six
You're not
foot two,
small.
240 pounds." I'm like, I'm big enough.
You're doing okay for yourself, I'd say.
So we are so happy to have high tech athlete, the most winningest bikini pro ever, 3-time Miss Bikini Olympia, Ashley Kaltwasser. So thank you so much. I feel like we've been doing this annually now. So
No, it's a good tradition. I look forward to it every time.
same here. So, you know, so many new divisions now in bikini, right? Like different, you got your fit model, everything else. What are your thoughts on all these new divisions, like the new divisions?
I love it. It gives other athletes an opportunity to compete who might have been like intimidated to do so in the beginning. Because I'm not gonna lie, like if I just now started the sport, I
Yeah.
would see my own photo and be like, oh gosh, that's gonna take me so long. I can't do that. Like, so that's a common thought that a lot of girls have in their head. And in the beginning can be really rough getting into it. So I think it's a great stepping stone, or if they just want to stay in fit model, but either way, more athletes have the chance to compete. So I am all for it.
Yeah. So, I mean, your story is one of just complete success. So, what's the like people ask people all the time, well, what should I do? How should I, what should I eat? What should I do? Like, what was your blueprint for success? Like, if you could put it, what's the blueprint for success as a competitor? Because I know you were successful in other fields, but as a competitor.
Yes, I would say number one, be relentless. You just got to
Mhm.
keep going no matter what. Keep showing up. If there's
Mhm.
something you need to work on, go back to the drawing boards, fix it, and come back. I think that's number one. But also, another tip would just be avoiding extremes when necessary, meaning training smarter, not harder, a lot of times is the key to it as well.
Right. And look, we all know training is just a small part of the equation when it comes to being a champion. You have to have the right mindset and you have to have the right nutrition and supplements. Can you briefly tell us like about the supplements that you're taking through high tech right now? And do you have a favorite one?
Yeah, so my favorite for a long time is their precision protein. I love the Neapolitan flavor to be more specific, but oh, that is such a great product to have because I'll put that in my coffee. I will put it in smoothie. I'll put it in my oats and in my yogurt. So it's very versatile, and I don't think a lot of people think of protein as being that way, but I use protein for more than just a shake. So I definitely incorporate it several times throughout the day. So it's been super helpful for me. Of course, the creatine, like the tried and true creatine monohydrate, has been so helpful, especially for recovery. The glutamine as well. And, a pre workout is always welcome and helpful, especially on the days I feel sluggish. So their jacked up workout is my go to.
Yeah. So are you a Starbucks person? Are you a Dunkin' Donuts or you make your coffee at home?
Dunkin', yes. It's much better still. It's a lot cheaper. You can get better, but I just don't feel like I'm getting as ripped off with the Dunkin'.
So now, when you use precision protein, do you use it up into the day of the show? Because I know a lot of times people will cut it out; they'll just eat fish or what. Do you use it up into the day of the show, or do you cut it out?
I pretty much use it up until the day of the show. I'll be honest, I used to be a little superstitious with it and just thought,
Hmm.
oh, I just need to cut it out the last week. But I tried it a few times, keeping it in, and it had no negative effect. Some people say, oh, well, artificial sweeteners cause water retention. It hasn't for me. So I've just been doing that, and it hasn't really seemed to affect me negatively. So I'll keep doing it.
Well, I like the fact too that you said creatine because people shy away from creatine too because of the water retention, and you're like, yeah, creatine is one of my go-tos.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. As long as your body's acclimated to it, it really shouldn't cause any water retention that people say. So I think sometimes people will say things just because they had an experience with a certain
Hmm.
product, but it could also be because of other reasons too. Like maybe that person had a lot of salt that day as well. You
Yeah.
don't know.
It's like, oh, the creatine makes me hold water, but I had all you can eat sushi with soy sauce all night. Like, it's
Exactly. Which one
like,
is it? You don't know.
Yeah, you have to be when you're a trainer or a coach, you have to be like a forensic account. You have to go through every single step because there's always like aha, like a Scooby Doo mystery. You're like aha, that's the reason. Because honestly, a lot of products do get bad raps, and it's like if you took them, and if you're taking 7 or 8 different products at once, you really how do you tell?
Yeah.
So you've used creatine for a long time, so you know. Do you mix it with water? When do you take it as well?
I usually put it in with my pre-workout, but if I don't have a pre-workout that day, I'll just put it in my like gallon tub that I bring around, my gallon jar thing to make
Yeah.
sure I drink my water. I'll just put it in there. It doesn't have any grittiness to it, so I don't even taste it or feel it.
What's your like? You won what? 53 pro shows now.
Hmm.
53. I said you were going to win 90, so you got to keep competing. So I'm right.
Almost
But
there.
so you won 53 pro shows, 3 Olympias. So like, what's your motivation and what's your mindset going into this year's Olympia?
Well, I'm definitely feeling a lot more pressure this year just because I got second last year. So I'm
Hmm.
like, I'm up there, you know? So the burden of expectation is very, very strong this year. However, I will say the good thing about me is like I tend to do well under pressure, although I
Hmm.
hate pressure. I hate it for whatever reason. I always deliver under pressure. So I'm hoping that's a good thing that I feel this way. But yeah, no, I'm super excited about this. It's like, I can't believe
Yeah.
it's almost here in less than 8 weeks. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but you're somebody who's ready all the time. So like, what do you have to do in the next 8 weeks to kind of, get ready? Because you're one of those people who's like in the blink of an eye, you can kind of hit the stage. So you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like you don't see you at like walking around the expo 40 pounds heavier.
yeah. I try to keep it in check. Yeah, I definitely I like to keep my off seasons a little bit leaner because it's
Mhm.
more predictable for me when I go to peak. But
Yeah,
also, I'm not such a huge foodie to where that's an issue. But I will say, like, I'm not like literal stage lean all year round, so I still got some work to do, especially for Olympia. You don't want to wait till last minute to get in shape for Olympia because it's going to come whether you like it or not.
yeah.
So I like to be extra prepared. So I did take a little bit of time off, just a few weeks from a diet. I took a week off from gym because I just competed at the end of July in Vancouver. So I allowed my body like a little bit of a rest. But now that we're getting closer to the show again, I got to put the pedal to the metal. So it's go time.
Well, people don't understand too. So you came in second last year, so Laura Lee Chapados won. So you don't put your entire training and nutrition plan to face Laura Lee Chapados because you don't know if she's going to even be in the top five because she could be off from the show or what have you. So it's like, or there's new people coming up. So what do you do to look at the pictures and say, wow, I got to do this in order to be number one? Because you've pretty much beaten everybody up there at some point. So like, how do you gear your nutrition? Like it would be different if it was a small bodybuilder and the big guy won. He had to put more mass on to compete. But what is your plan kind of to?
Yeah, that's a really good question because in bikini especially there is no like set like, oh, you
Yeah,
should be this percentage of body fat. There's a little more opinion associated with it because how big is too big, how lean is too lean, right?
right.
So
Yeah,
that being said, I always try to just bring what I know is my best. And I did compete 3 times this year, and that wasn't just for fun, although I did have a lot of fun. But, when I do compete throughout the year, I'm getting feedback from judges and I'm listening to what they have to say. And I go off of what their recommendations are. So the good thing is, when I competed the last 3 times, I asked, is there anything I should improve on for Olympia? Because I'm like, getting my practice in, I'm getting my tune up in. And, luckily they pretty much every judge has said, you know what, keep everything as is and bring it to Olympia. So
yeah.
it was a great experience to know that like mentally, like, okay, I know what I need to do and it's nothing crazy. I just got to keep doing what I'm doing. So that's what I'll do.
See, I like the fact that, look, you don't have to be humble, but that's who you are. I've seen a ton of videos from people like, I don't need the judge's opinion. I know we came in too hard, and next time we're coming in less. I was like, well, maybe you should get the judge's opinion since they're the ones that count and not your coach or not your friends. So I like the fact that you went to them and said, "What should I do?" Because obviously they're the people who are going to, place you. So um, that's interesting. Like your shoulder to waist differential is awesome. Like your abs, everything. It's like you've had such staying power over all of these years. Like everyone's always looking for the new person or the new flavor, this and that, but you've consistently been there because your genetics, your look cannot be denied. Is there going to be a point where if you don't win the Olympia, you're going to be like, I don't want to compete anymore? Or are you going to be like, I don't want to compete in other shows. I'm going to put everything into the Olympia now because I want to win one or two more? Like, what's your mindset with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I don't do out the Olympia, it's a sign that I need to like take a step back and see
Hmm.
what I need to do. Do I need to take a year off and make some big improvements, or is it just something super tiny that I can fix in a few weeks, right? So I would
Hmm.
ask myself that first. But if I saw like a consistent decline in like how well I do, at that point I'd be like, okay, this might
Yeah.
be a sign to go. But even then, there is the option to perhaps at some point come back for the Masters Olympia. But I'm not even qualified till 2031. So I do got
Plenty of time. Plenty of time.
I
What,
got
what,
some
what-
time to think about that. But yeah, I guess I just let my body do, make that decision for me because I will never be like a competitor that's going to be dumb and just like get worse and worse and not take the advice to take time off, take a step back, fix what needs to be fixed. I'm not going to, as much as I do love to compete, I would
yeah.
put myself in a position to continuously like do worse. Like that's silly to me.
Well, you also could, if you wanted to, go into fitness, the fitness division. You got some crazy skills in gymnastics, and I saw you doing the
So where
the work. You could, and you'd probably do really well in the physique round, which is what a good percentage of the score. Have you ever think about? You see bikini competitors now. Some are doing wellness. Some women's physique. Shanique is doing wellness now. Would you ever jump into another division?
Well, I will say there was a time that I did entertain the idea of doing fitness because
Hmm.
I can still tumble as you said.
Yeah.
Um, I'm pretty flexible, but the physique round would be the one that would get me because I think like 10 years ago I was like, okay, I might be able to hang if I try really hard. But nowadays, like I look at the girls, I'm like, yeah, I can't. I'm like I'm barely it's hard for me to even be big enough for bikini, let alone like fitness. So
Yeah.
although it's mostly routine and fitness, realistically, I don't think I would fit the mold physique wise. However, a more realistic option for me would just to go to fit model, I guess. That would be
Yeah.
make more sense than fitness right now, but that's not on my radar. But if I
No.
were to another division, it would be that one.
So we have 5 years before the Masters. So if you compete 6 times a year and win six shows, it's 30. We're at 83. So yeah, okay. So we got to get to the 90.
Yeah.
Some A lot of people are asking questions. Somebody wants to know how long ago did you start getting obviously competing in bikini?
My first show was in 2011. It was the Arnold Amateur, actually, so long time
Oh,
ago. And then, yeah, so I won in the overall amateur Arnold Amateur in 2012. So that was a year later. So I got my pro card in 2012, started competing, and I'm still here, believe it or not. So
yeah. I mean,
but
how's this like this? I know there's a lot more contests now than there were in 2012, but what's the biggest change like in the IFBB Pro League right now as far as bikini?
So for bikini, there hasn't been a lot that changed in the last like 5 years or so. I will say from the beginning when I competed in bikini till now, and I think this is true for all divisions, it's just more open to the world rather than
Yeah.
it used to be like I feel like 90% of the roster at the Olympia was from USA. You say USA, USA, USA. And now it's like USA here, there, everywhere. There's
Oh yeah.
so yeah, the talent pool is so much more deeper because we're able to reach all over the world, which is kind of cool. So every year I see new shows pop up in some very random countries, and I think it's like the coolest thing because it's like an opportunity for someone, to compete and possibly go to Olympia that would never have thought that. So really
Well,
cool stuff
well,
that the
just think about how good of a competitor you are too, because now it's open worldwide, and there you are coming second in the Olympia and winning pro shows throughout the year. So even with the massive pool, because a lot of people couldn't hang, former Olympia champions in other divisions, once they open up the doors, they were not even in the top six, so they got blown away. So you've learned how to pivot, evolve, or whatever you needed to, to do to be successful. A lot of people are asking questions. There's just general questions here about how to pick a suit. How do
Mhm.
you pick a suit? Do you have a suit manufacturer or sponsor?
Yeah, Angel Competition Bikinis does my suits. They always do such a good job. But my go-to colors are usually green or red. So maybe at the Olympia I'll do something a little different, but it's probably going to be still in the realm of green.
Yeah, is it because now this is I want to know because I'm a huge bikini competitor. No, because is it because you have black hair? Like, is that why those are the colors that pop better than what they would offer somebody with a fairer color? Or,
I would say probably that, but also green is like a personality to me at this point. It's
yeah.
part of my personality. I think it's what the color symbolizes, as corny as that sounds, like energy, like,
Oh,
um,
definitely.
energy, bubbly maybe a little bit. Whereas like maybe another color doesn't really give me that same vibe. I also like green too because not it's not so with red and with blue, everyone can pull off those colors. Like that's why you see so much red and blue. I like green because it's a little bit less common and I
Mm-hmm.
can pull it off. So in my head, I think I stand out a little more. But it's just like a color that like it's my lucky color because I've worn that since I turned pro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm always afraid to try something too different, but I will try something a little more bluish green this time.
I honestly, yeah, the colors make a huge difference. Look at Tiger Woods as a golfer. In the last round he always wore a red shirt. So
Okay.
because the red shirt, some symbolism of power, like he was going for the victory. I don't know if it had anything to do with being a matador or bull. Like it was like he was going for the victory. He wore red all the time. Certain people wear certain colors. Michael Jordan wore his North Carolina trunks under his Chicago Bulls outfit every night. Like everybody has some sort of kind of, I don't want to say OCD, but some kind of, let's say, spiritual reason why they should wear a specific color or a bracelet or a ring. What color were you wearing when you won the Olympias?
Green.
Ah, there we go. Exactly. So another person asked a question: how long like for your, let's say, let's put it this way, from your first show, how many weeks did you take to as your prep?
So for this year, for my first show, it was in June. It was the Denver Mile High. It took me like 8 weeks, and at 8 week
Okay.
prep, I had a really good off season. I kept it quite tight, maybe within 5 pounds of my stage weight.
Mm.
Um, so I was able to kind of easily prep for that show in that period of time. But yeah, the first show of the year is usually the hardest prep because it's like I'm just getting into it, getting my feet wet again.
When you first started, did you need more time, or like, was you 16 weeks, 12?
Yeah, yeah. So it was more like that 16 weeks, but it all depends on how good of an off season I have,
Mm-hmm.
how I can keep it in the off season. Like if I get too loosey goosey in the off season, then that would mean a lengthier prep for me. So I don't like that. I usually do like to stay a little bit on the lean side. So that's how I like to do it.
Uh, Another person, who's your coach?
Adam Bonilla from Team Elite Physique. Yeah, he's
Mm.
been coach since I came back in 2018. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, like there's a lot of different coaches out there, especially now. Some are legit, some aren't, and some people have to find out the hard way. So I always tell them look for a referral. So I'm sure now he's going to get a ton of people hitting him up. But um, what do you think about the coaches? I'm just curious, like that have 7 or 8 people in the same show. They're
Mm.
training for the same show. Like, how does somebody deal with that? Because I feel like if it were me, I'd be like, they're giving my secrets away or they're favoring somebody else. Like, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, that is definitely a common thing that coaches will do. They'll bring several of their athletes to one show because it's convenient for them because, well, the coach is going to be there, so it makes more sense for everyone to go to that show. However, I hate competing with my teammates. I hate it. I'm sorry, teamies. I hate
Yeah,
competing. If it were any other team, who cares? But it feels weird to me to compete against like my what feels to be like my family,
yeah.
and it's always like an awkward like,
That's what
you know.
I said to Samson Dowder, I'm like, what would you do if your wife trained Hadi Chopin? You know, he's like,
Hey,
he would be mad. But well, look at Hani Rambod trained Derek and Hadi at the same time too, which is, like, look, if your mindset going into shows, I'm going to win no matter what, it shouldn't matter. But I was just curious what your take on it was. As far as like the NPC now, how long did it take you to get your pro card? You said you did the amateur Arnold
mhm.
because there's a lot of competitors now and a lot in these shows. There's a lot. I mean, you go into the universe. I mean, there's 800 bikini competitors in that show. So, how long did it take you to get your pro card when you started?
It took me probably 9, 10 months. I didn't get the
Oh,
pro card at the Arnold Amateur though. Although I did get overall, I didn't get a pro card because I don't know if you remember back then. That wasn't a pro card qualifying show, but if you were foreign, you could petition for a pro card. So
uh,
what sucked was the girls that I beat because I got the overall, but they won their height classes from different countries. They got their pro card before me because they got in, but because I was American, I had to petition. So I had to do my pro
wow.
old fashioned way at the Teen Universe in 2012.
I remember you. I think at that time I was 2013 or 14. I worked with NPC News Online, and you were doing interviews at the time for us too back then at the TNEC in
Hmm.
TNEC, in TNEC. There's a lot of history. A lot of people one have done well in bikini in the universe have done well on the on the big stages. So there you go. But that's interesting. You should have been like, oh, I'm from Scandinavia. I'm Scandinavian blood.
Yeah,
Here's my 23 and me with my genetic profile on it.
I could have done that. It would have been much easier that way than go to TNIC.
So now, obviously, your off season will dictate what your prep's going to be, but generally, what would you recommend someone getting ready for bikini show as far as cardio?
So as far as cardio, I don't want to give like a specific
Sure,
program.
because you don't know what shape they're in. Yeah.
Exactly. I will say start slow. Like there is no benefit from going 0 to 100 because your body's just going to adapt to the cardio faster. What
Hmm.
challenging to get people to understand is in our sport, it's not like the best idea to become too good at cardio because then it just prolongs your cardio session. For example, the calories that you used to burn with 20 minutes of cardio because you got so good at it, now you have to go longer or even more intense, I suppose. But even at that point, you're still going to have to go longer down the line. So start slow. No benefit of going right out the gate sprinting. I even for myself, I'll use an example. Next week I'm starting cardio, so I'll start with one day for 30 minutes. Then then week two, I'm doing it twice a week. Week three, 3 times a week. Week four, 4 times a week. So that's how I do it. I keep it simple.
Yeah, but who's going to dispute you? Like, I remember training at Club Metrics back in the day. I was training with somebody. We are doing chest, and we were doing like 20, 25 sets. And Ronnie Coleman was wrapping his knees. And at the time we were doing 20, 25 sets, he was on his fourth set of squats. And my training partner goes, he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm like, yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's the best bodybuilder in the world. Like,
Mhm.
there's different, obviously, strategies for different people. I just kind of annoys me when people like, oh, this is what you should do, and it's gospel. There's different ebbs and flows to your body, and you know your body best. So
Mhm.
if you did too much cardio off the bat, that you're not going to come in full enough, and you're going to, depending on what cardio do, can tear down muscle as well. Because I know a lot of people too, they overtrain their glutes. They're doing glutes every day, like every single day in the gym. You got at some point you have to give them a rest, no?
Right. Exactly. recover. Yeah. But yeah, when it comes to cardio, just like think of it as just save it for when you need it only, you know?
Yeah. As far as like I would say outside the sport of bikini, like what are some of the things that you enjoy to do that, because everyone's always interviewing about bikini, like what do you do to prep? Or what are some of the things you like to do outside?
Um, I like to go bargain hunting, grocery shopping. I shop
Yeah.
in Ohio. People have no idea how Ohio I am. Things in life, getting a good deal, shopping the bargain rack. I like hanging out with my cats. They're fun too. I live a very simple life outside of competing because competing is my adrenaline. So like when I'm not competing, I like to do the opposite and do something super boring to balance that out because yeah, I don't want to go skydiving on my day off. You know, I have so much excitement in my life already, like especially at competitions and they call the winners. That's a lot of adrenaline.
It's
That's
funny.
way adrenaline. So I'm good on that, the excitement portion of my life. So I look
It's
bored.
it's funny, like when you're younger, like younger 20s or whatever, you're like, oh, I'm wearing this, I'm wearing Gucci, I'm wearing this, and then when you're like, you get a little bit older, 35, where you're like, oh yeah, I just went and I got this amazing candle at Burlington for like $1.99, and it's awesome. Look at this. It's usually $12. Like, it's
I
just, it's a totally different. I don't know if you mature, or you just kind of, you
I
don't
think
put.
accomplishment. Like I found
Yeah.
this treasure for cheap, you know. So like I have fun with it.
Now going back to the products, and if they're the high tech products, obviously go to the website, look in the caption. You can go down and visit High Tech Pharma. You see the caption there and the tag. We'll have everything there. But just give us a rundown what you take every day for high tech
Yeah.
products for
So
your for your prep.
yes, so it depends on the actual day itself. For example, I don't like to if I can avoid not setting an alarm clock, I do that. So if I sleep in a little bit too late, I probably will avoid taking like one of their fat burners. Like the one I've been taking recently is REDUX, and that's a nice little fat burner to start the day. Now that's only though if I didn't sleep in, because if I slept until like 8, then we're passing. Um, then I'll have my breakfast and I'll have my vitamins with breakfast. I've been doing vitamin C, vitamin D with my breakfast lately, and High Tech provides that as well. And I'll eat my breakfast, get ready to go work out, and that's where the jacked 3D comes in, jacked up. So I will do that. I will do glutamine, and I'll put creatine in there, or either that or my gallon water jug thing.
Hmm.
And then, of course, after the workout, I will have my precision protein in some form, whether that be a shake or mixed in my cream of rice or something like that. But that will be in there as well. So that's typically what I would do. But of course, different scenarios will change that. Like if I'm, even for now, I'm a little bit sick. I can tell I'm getting a little sick. So I'll
Yeah.
do some lozenges and stuff like that and throw them in when I need.
Wow. There you go. So yeah, a lot of people like there's so many people do so many different things, but they want to look at you because obviously you've won the most shows and see what you're taking, and obviously you've been with the company for a long time. So, and every time we speak, you're always using their products and you're winning. So, right? So, yeah. So check out the high tech products. Check the tag, the website. It's all there in the caption. Ashley's one of their premier athletes. We're gonna really well, you know what? Tell us why. Why do you think people should go to Vegas and watch the show in person as opposed to watching it on pay-per-view?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. So there is nothing like the hype and the energy of the Olympia. There is just nothing. It does not compare.
Hmm.
It's, I guess if you really can't get to Vegas, yes, the pay-per-view is a good option. But if you can make it, especially for finals and stay till the end. Oh my gosh. The
Oh yeah.
whole thing shakes at the end. When the doors open, gets announced, and everyone goes crazy. The energy, the excitement is something that everyone needs to experience. So definitely suggest you going if you can.
Yes, and you can get your Olympia tickets at MrOlympia.com, and you get expo tickets. Are you going to be at the expo?
I am.
Oh, okay. It'd be high tech.
I will be with High Tech, but I don't
Okay.
know the schedule yet. I'll probably be there. I'll probably be at Cult Fitness booth, American Barbell, perhaps. So I'm still figuring out the schedule, but I will be there.
But
And
you would, but
the
they,
athlete too.
but they can find you on stage at the
On stage.
Mr. Olympia. But you're so right too. When I see competitors backstage and in person, it is completely different than what you see on stage, filtered. Maybe lights brighter on another competitor, but whenever you see the reality in person more than you do in photos, and then when competitors who didn't win, they're filtering themselves, they're not filtering other competitors, like so they look better. Lighting's different, so when people are like, oh, he or she was smooth. No, they weren't. They were actually shredded if you were there in person. So that's one of the reasons, like, why you should go to Mr. Olympia, because you'll see for yourself what everybody did look like at that contest. And it is one of the greatest motivators if you are a competitor or somebody who wants to get in shape. When someone sees you in person and they're like, oh wow, that's what it takes to be a champion competitor. Like I remember going to Bev's gym and training Marion Yates. I'm like, oh, so that's what Mr. Olympia looks like. So I have to get bigger. Like, you know what I mean? So you're just going to inspire so many people who go and see you in person. And we know that you're extremely nice to your fans. You'll be at the Olympia, Meet the Olympians, meet greet. They'll be there too. So your fans will get a chance to say hello, and everybody be respectful and be nice because she's got to compete the next day.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you want to talk about or say, or are you? Because I could talk forever, but I know you're in prep and you're not feeling well, so.
Oh, don't worry about me. I just want to say I'm super excited to meet everyone there at the Mr. Olympia. Like we were saying, you don't want to miss it. It is so exciting. It's going to get you so motivated. Even if you're not a competitor, it is such a spectacle to see at least once in your life. So I hope to see you out there. And I'm also want to shout out High Tech Pharma. Super grateful for my supplement sponsor. They have been with me for a very long time, super supportive, and of course, to make the best products that fuel me to get to the Olympia stage.
Yes, thanks to High Tech Pharma for having Ashley on the Olympia channels this fine, what is it, Monday? Fine Monday?
Monday.
That's it. Motivational Monday. Here you go. You got 34 minutes of the world's winningest IFBB Pro League bikini competitor, three-time Olympia, high-tech pharma athlete, Ashley Kaltwasser. Thank you so much. Obviously, good luck. I will see you backstage I'll see you at the athletes meeting, backstage, press conference, and finals. So I'll see you,
Yeah,
Ashley.
I'm excited. See you all there.
All right. Thanks, Ashley. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.